Time now for ABC4 Utah's Real Sports Live.
Hey everybody, welcome to Real Sports Live. We've shortened things up a bit. We're going to go 15 minutes instead of our usual 45 minutes for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and in this time when sports is taking a long time out, we did get some good news this week. All the Utah Jazz players and staff, including Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, were cleared by the health department. Their quarantines are over.
And joining us via Skype now is the voice of the Utah Jazz, Craig Bolerjack, who has been in quarantine for a couple of weeks. Bowler, congratulations. You're out of quarantine.
Woohoo!
Congrats.
Oh, it feels good, guys, and I really appreciate your 6 foot of proximity.
At least.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Hey, Bowler, what a crazy night that was in Oklahoma City, about 2.5 weeks ago. Take us through your experience there, because that was insane.
Well, we only have 15. I could fill 30, maybe even longer, but I'll be honest, a long story short, when we got on the bus, I always take the second bus over. Quinn Snyder had told us he wanted to talk with us in Oklahoma City in this little private room off the front door that would lead us to our buses. So myself and Big T, Donovan, Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich, and Coach, and I'm thinking Royce O'Neal was in that room. Just about 7, 8 of us, along with a couple of the PR people. And he just told us that Rudy was being tested. And so obviously in my years of being a newsbreaker, you know, I kind of, okay, the antennas go up and I knew something wasn't right. So we get on the bus and again, we get to the arena. I felt no panic in the arena as they were asked to leave after the word came down that the game would not be played. And then I got a text message to go to the locker room, and they met us there and put us in a room just outside the Jazz locker room. And that's where we were quarantined for the next 6 or so hours. And then the whole process began. I've been around a long time, and this is something that I never would have expected. I'm just glad to talk to you two. It gives me great freedom and kind of really helps my psyche to be totally honest.
Sense of normalcy.
We're happy to help out. You mentioned the word panic with fans. When you heard that you had to be tested, there had to be a little bit of panic because you're like me, you're over 60 years old, and we're in that age group. Was there a little bit of panic on your end?
Thanks, Wes. For that.
Just outed him. We can see the gray in your goatee.
I don't think at that particular time I was that educated on really the severities of where the virus and what and who it was taking its toll on. You know, I'd heard a day or two prior, I think, that it was more of the elderly, and so I guess thankfully I hadn't put myself in that category yet. But then I became more aware as the night went on because this story grew and grew. But you know, it's amazing when you get in a situation like that, how people react and respond. And it was a study of humankind. I know this is a heavy conversation, but I learned a lot about myself and about my colleagues on how you handle moments of stress, uncertainty, and fear, because we felt all that.
Bowler, we're glad you're okay. As far as the season itself goes, what are your thoughts about the return of the NBA? How confident are you that it's going to come back in some form? And is it worth it to come back if there are no fans that are able to watch it in person?
Well, Dana, this is the question that everyone is wanting answers to, and I'm no expert. I can't dive into a coronavirus COVID-19 expert, and I'm going to leave that to the professionals, the experts, on deciding what we do and when we do it. For my own chair, personally, I would love to play, but I also understand that it has to be safe for everyone. And players, obviously, I think it'd be difficult to play without fans. I just hope that calm heads prevail and the right decision is made when the time is actually right and healthy for all.
Let me ask you, Craig, I know you're a Utah Jazz employee, so it's going to be hard to talk about this, but there's been a lot of talk about reported strife in the locker room with Gobert and the way he kind of treated it lightly before he was diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus.
Right.
Is there damage repair that needs to be done in that locker room?
You know, that's a great question that I'm going to just acquiesce to Donovan and Rudy to fix it if there is. Look, I think what Rudy did, he understood was not the right thing, and I'm glad he came out and apologized. But you know what? It was also a young player who was downplaying at the time what was really happening. I think all of us weren't certain just how serious. I know I wasn't.
No, exactly,
how serious this situation was going to be. And his proximity, mind you, they share locker space right next to each other. They have a very dynamic relationship. And I'm hoping that this ultimately will bring them even closer.
Before we let you go, Bowler, I know that the players are trying to stay in shape on their own. How does a broadcaster stay in shape? Are you calling like old games, or are you staying fresh? Because we're going to need you when the NBA season returns.
Work on that voice.
Well, I tell you what, I've slept more than I ever have, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the fatigue or the anxiety that I have felt over the last couple of weeks. All of us, I think, when you're saying stay in your home, what do? You sit and watch TV, and the next thing you know, your head snaps back, right? And that's what I've been going through. But what I'm glad the Jazz have done is we're doing Jazz playback on certain nights. We're going to record another one that's going to air tomorrow night. So that's helpful. And I think it's been good therapy for us, and I hope it's been good therapy for Jazz Nation. And hopefully sooner than later, we're back doing what we love.
Absolutely.
And giving the fans what they want: Jazz basketball, NFL, college football, amateur athletics, all the above. But the first and foremost, I really want to just say, stay safe, be smart, and really keep an eye on family and friends, and we're going to get through this.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
good
thanks,
luck on that goatee.
Yeah, it's looking good.
What do you think? I don't know. I've had it for 7 days, but I'm not sure if it's really me, but it's a challenge in my house. So I'm going to continue, and then I'll let fans decide yay or nay.
Just tell the family to buckle up. Yeah. It's happening.
Everyone buckle up. Here we go.
Thanks, Bowler.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Good luck. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out here on Real Sports Live.
Yeah, but coming up, we're going to check in with Utah's all-time leading rusher to hear how he's preparing for the NFL draft. Stick around.